Well, on this show, we've given always warnings to all of you when you're traveling overseas. Be aware of the law of the land in those countries, because it's not the same as the United States. You may walk into a country that something in your bag, something on your phone or laptop or tablet may be illegal to have, or the type of business you do, which we're finding out on this, which I have a lot of questions on this article. Basically, you may be doing business and suddenly you're arrested, and them looking on in your property, in your phone, in your laptop, and that you do a certain type of business, they arrest you for that type of business. And you wonder why. But like I said, you always got to be careful. If you're going into somewhere where basically, as I say, adult content is not favorable, it's best to go, if you're going to take a phone with you, have a secondary phone, a vacation phone, which basically, you could still maintain contact. You can transfer your calls from your standard phone to a backup, and that's possible on there. So basically, remember these things. Remember things. Also, your medications, another thing that's important on there. But before we get into this video, don't forget to hit that like, share, comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's very important. Moves us up in the algorithm. We're about 1340 on there and rising. We are fully back this week. It's June. It's the summer edition of the Madman with the Show. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, we do have a little bit of an unusual set, this back piece set. Just giving a little relax from the main set that we normally do our shows on. And we want to present you with other content on the show. A summary appearance. This is not a summary. Well, vacations are a summary. But in this case situation, this is a very concerning article on there. So thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, check me out this Wednesday on Sci-Fi Snob. I will be on the panel discussing the Babylon 5 season finale, Chrysalis. I'll be there with several other panelists discussing the end of season 1. So check us out there. I'll leave the link below. So, from AVN, Indonesia arrests U.S. citizens for creating adult content. Now, remember, Indonesia has adult content laws that are very stringent, practically barbaric in their nature.
Really?
On there. But we're going to read from this out of Jakarta. U.S. citizen Taylor Kirby Whitemore was arrested on March 25th by local law enforcement for violating Indonesian laws about producing and selling adult content while in the country. The Associated Press notes that Whitmore was arrested in, sorry if I mispronounce this, Nugra Rai International Airport in the country's tourism-dominated province of Bali. He was headed for Malaysia, the Wire Services reports. Yuldi Yusman, Acting Director General of Immigration for the Indonesia Ministry of Immigration and Corrections, explained in a news conference Wednesday that Whitmore violated his tourist visa by violating the country's strict pornographic laws. Whitemore was linked to accounts on both X and Telegram that promoted the exchange of money for paid pornographic content. Whitmore is still detained as of May 16th, was held in a detention facility based in the national capital of Jakarta. We strongly suspect that the promoted videos he produced were taken in Indonesia, said Yusman. Whitmore faces up to 5 years in prison and a fine of about $30,000 if he's found guilty. The state-owned news service Antara indicates that Whitmore's first entered the country on January 25th. Though possessing a civil legal system, Indonesia is the largest Muslim majority country in Asia and the world's most populous. 13% of the world's Muslims live in Indonesia. That means much of the legal system in Indonesia is based on civil tradition and Islamic Sharia law. Now, note, if he's found guilty, I believe he faces 5 years in prison and about $30,000 fine, which is about like 500 million rupa on there. See, the thing is, and I got to question this. They say that he's suspected of producing these videos in there. Do they have the proof? The thing that they have is that they linking him, that they checked his phone, that he sells adult videos online. He's a businessman that sells adult video content. He probably shoots a lot of stuff in Asia. And did he violate the law by shooting? We don't shooting adult content, pornography in Jakarta. We don't know. We really don't know. We're taking from the point of view of the government that basically, and I'll read it even from the AP. It says linked to accounts on X and the Telegram messaging app that promoted and processed transactions for paid pornographic content. In simpler terms, what that tells me is that most likely they knew he works in pornography. They went in, took his phone, took his probably laptop, and whatever else happened, went through it, found that he was selling this online. And this is why I tell you, if you have stuff on your phone and you go into a country like Indonesia, you could be arrested instantly just for having what they deem. And plus, you got to remember, what do they deem pornographic? Now, you also have to remember Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia also have strict laws as well. Now, like I said, I went looking for him online as far as his content. I couldn't find it before the time of this recording on there, but it probably is out there. I just wasn't looking good enough to the situation. We're a little behind on a lot of things that are going on. But like I said, if he is in the adult content business or the pornography business on there, and if he went to a country that basically, he knows the laws, to that point. Because one thing, when you're in the pornographic business, there are certain countries you need to stay out of. If he was there just to do business separately outside of making the videos, this could have been a trap, in a way he was entrapped, to that point. And this is where, the State Department needs to get involved and find out what's going on with this at this point. Looking into the XBiz also, all his other equipment was also confiscated. So basically, he did have porn on him. In other words, on his hard drives, wherever he did, and like I said, you have to be careful where you go and what you're carrying with you. What's on your laptop, what's on your tablet, what's on your phone. Because one brief view by a police officer, that's it. You are arrested. But like I said, this is like the articles that I've read several articles on this, and it seems to be shaky. Most of it points that the evidence is basically toward what was on his phone, that he has a connection to X, Twitter, and also Telegram. So where basically, I guess he does business selling adult-related videos. So if that's the evidence per se that they have, it's circumstantial. He does business outside on there. But once again, not something you should be carrying in Jakarta itself or any of the other countries that are with these same laws. So tell me in the comments below, what are your thoughts about this? Am I right? Am I wrong? Was he filming in Jakarta? Was he not? Yes, he did have the equipment with him, but they're not pointing out to that. They're not pointing out that that they caught him filming. You have to remember, they didn't catch him filming something. All they have is what they pulled off his phone, and then, of course, all the adult material that was on his hard drives. So comment, like, share, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We really do appreciate really do appreciate it at this time period. 1340 and climbing. We, of the thousands of videos you picked on ours, we really do appreciate it. Remember, Sci-Fi Snob Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern. I'll be on the panel on there, so do check it out. Until next time, thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.